Good morning, everyone. Are you ready to start off?
Yes.
Are you ready to start off?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you guys don't mind me closing the doors because, likewise, I was telling you guys, things tend to become a bit vocal. So I just want not people to come in and steer what's going on inside.
Yeah.
Okay. So welcome to this Cisco session where we're talking about selling business outcomes. My name is Muntazir Haider and I'll be your trainer today and tomorrow. Unfortunately, we've started off late today, but inshallah tomorrow we'll be starting. In fact, tomorrow we might be starting a bit early as we have to end the day early tomorrow. Okay, we'll discuss that later on. Firstly, about Engage ESM. I am representing Engage ESM here. We are a consultancy firm that provides training and consultancy services in terms of IT, and Cisco has appointed us to conduct this program on their behalf. We conduct workshops, consultancy, digitalized learning, and we provide various tools for sales and other services as well. These are some of the solutions that we provide. I'm hurrying up with the introduction part because since we're already a bit short on time today. Okay. So first up, let's start with the introductions. But before we get into introductions, let me start off with a couple of things, a few things that we say about sales. We say customers do not buy products. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Then what do they buy? Solutions, excellent. You said customers don't buy products. What do they buy?
The value of happiness.
The value,
Comfort,
the
comfort.
happiness, the
Comfort.
solutions. What do they buy?
It's the same thing.
The same thing, okay? So customers do not buy products. What do they buy? They buy the associate solutions. They buy the services that we are providing them. So ultimately, every product is about a certain solution, a certain service. That's what today's course is about, and tomorrow as well. We'll talk about selling business outcomes. So we're talking about selling the solution to the client, not the product. Does that make sense? Everyone with me on this? Why are you guys not vocal enough? You guys have to wake up. Come on, it's like what, 10 a.m. Like seriously, I was telling these colleagues that at 6:30 a.m. when I moved the curtain in my room, I saw traffic was flowing here and there. It was kind of surprising for me because the region that I come from, when I call anyone at 10 a.m., they're like sleeping. So when I moved the curtain at 6:30 a.m., traffic was flowing here and there. So I think 10 is pretty good enough. Yeah. So you guys should be up. Let's have a quick exercise. Okay. Can you guys please get up from your seats? Okay, I would want you guys to remove your ties and coats if you want.
That's what
Yeah.
I was about to do.
Yes, please. Feel free to just remove the ties and coats only. Okay? It's okay. Yeah. And you can remove the ties as well. And you can roll up the sleeves if you guys want. Feel comfortable, just as this gentleman is. When I look at him, I feel a sense of comfort that he has in today's room. Okay? So feel free to loosen up your ties, feel free to roll up your sleeves. Okay? Now I want you guys to move away from each other so that you don't end up hitting each other. Okay? And spread your arms like this. Okay? And we'll do a bit of an exercise. Okay? As I say 1, 2, 3. Okay? First we do like this: 1, 2, and when I say 3, we'll all do like this: yes, and we'll shout at the top of our voices. Okay? Generally when this activity happens the first time, my shout is the loudest. Let's see if it changes this time. Okay? So you can spread your arms like this. 1. Come on guys, come on.
I would say with you.
Yeah.
Okay,
1,
1, 2,
2, 3. Yes! Okay, I was the loudest. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Let's try it one more time. Okay? Just to loosen up, come on. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3.
Yes.
Yes! I didn't say so, it wasn't very loud. Okay, let's do it one more time, okay? 1,
1,
2,
2,
3.
3.
Yes.
Yes! Okay, have a seat. I hope Pastor doesn't come in. Okay, have a seat, please. I hope you guys are up now.
Yes.
Fresh. Okay?
We are storing energy.
We were
Sorry?
already attending customer issues
Sorry?
from morning. We were already attending customer issues
Yeah,
from
okay.
morning. So
We laid down some basic rules, okay? We all are working professionals, so you might get some calls, you might get some emails, you might have to respond to some messages or something. If there is a call, feel free to walk out. As soon as your call is done, feel free to come back in. Okay? But the mobile should ring. Okay, because of course it's a professional room that we're in, this program. If the mobiles ring, we'll pose a penalty on you. Okay, and the penalty generally that I apply is singing a song.
Singing is good.
Yeah. So whoever, if your mobile rings, you have to sing a song. First
If there
ring.
are some singers here, then you will be in trouble.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. First ring, you have to sing a song. Second time, you have to dance as well.
Now you change.
Okay.
Now you change.
It's the second ring. Okay. Second ring, you have to sing a song. Same thing applies when we have breaks. Okay. If we have a tea break today, whoever comes in late have to sing a song. Once we have a lunch break, okay. Once we have a lunch break, when we come back, whoever is late has to sing a song. Agreed? Tomorrow, if anyone comes late, same penalties apply. Okay? Fair enough? Fair enough? Okay, I want these laughters, these smiles to be on your faces throughout the day. Because that's how we're going to go about in this learning process. Okay? Are you fine with that?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So let's start off with the introductions. I would like to know your name, your role, territory, what you want from this workshop, one interest or hobby that you do just for fun. Let me add a bit humor to it. Okay? Because since we all are salespeople, okay? After answering all of these questions, as in one by one, you have to have a laugh out. Does that make sense?
No, okay.
Why not?
Go ahead.
Okay.
When you say laugh out,
Okay, for example, when you say your name, after your name, you have to laugh. Okay? After you tell us your role and territory, you have to laugh. After you tell us what you want from this workshop, you have to laugh again. Okay? And after the fourth question, again, you have to laugh. How's that?
Yeah.
Acceptable?
Lazy.
Who's going to start as a volunteer? You want to volunteer? Okay, fair enough. I don't mind. We can start with you.
Okay, I'll start.
Okay.
My name is Abhishek Khare.
Okay.
I cannot laugh. So now I'm laughing.
Okay.
My role is sales and business development. Territory as such is not defined. It's the whole of Bahrain considered as a small territory or so. So there is no specific territory defined geographically. I want from the workshop to see what more I can do, to sell better. So that's what my whole objective is. Okay, and
You're missing out the laughter part. The fun part you're missing out.
okay, I'm laughing now.
Okay.
Okay. Interests and hobbies are multiple. Like as I said, photography, going to the gym, driving, a lot of things are there. So,
Fair enough. Where's the laughter? I mean, you guys are missing out on the laughter. Do you know
that's all I can laugh.
Yeah.
Do you know laughter is a salesman's weapon? Okay, you said yes. Why and how?
Because it makes the other person comfortable. And
Absolutely.
it breaks the ice.
Absolutely. It's a good icebreaker. It makes people comfortable with you. It makes people feel that you are comfortable as well. Okay? So, who's next? Sir, can we start with
Yeah.
you?
My name is Shyam. Again,
The-
I'm
the laughter. Okay, yeah, I like that. Yeah.
and again, I belong to Alma Data Group, and I handle the sales for Alma Data Group, not specific to any territory, but on certain specific set of accounts.
Okay.
Then,
I'll tickle you now.
what do you want from workshop? Yes, everyone expects the same thing: how to sell better, and especially in tough situations, where our competition accounts or something like that. And one interest or hobby that you just do for fun is, I have quite a lot of hobbies. One is I generally drive a lot, and then I play chess, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
My name is Shafi. It's a bit funny name. But yeah, I will be able to. So that thing is done. My role is into services selling, and territory is this small place, Bahrain.
I like that. I like that.
So that is done. And I just want to find some negatives in me from this workshop, like so that I can clear out and or wipe out and make it to positive, which I will not be able to find myself. That is your role. It's your role. And interesting hobby is like interesting hobby means I will try to make someone laughing. That's my hobby.
Comedian.
That's serious thing, right?
I said this itself is a joke.
Yeah. So again, without lies, at this point, no one should laugh.
True. I had a class yesterday that I skipped out because I was traveling, and I got to know from my colleagues that the ones that we missed you a lot. I was like, why? Because it's fun to know what you're known for. So they said there was no one to make the class laugh. It was such a boring class. People could actually think that where is Muntasir actually missing him, and that's why they couldn't mark my proxy as well. But yeah, yes, ma'am.
My name is Sutina. I'm an account manager for Bahrain. I would like from this workshop to sell more. And my hobby is swimming.
Is?
Swimming.
Okay.
More.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, my name is Kim. You didn't mention to be sincere laugh, so we can be sarcastic. All right. My role is I'm a sales manager for Manai Tech. Territory. Yep, territory would be Bahrain, and I would guess Qatar as well. Okay. What you want from the workshop? Well, basically we're a fairly new company here in Bahrain. So, we want to expand more and, try to figure out how things work here in Bahrain.
Here we should not stop. He is our competitor.
Okay. Well, it's a healthy competition, I would say.
Yeah, I mean it is. If you all are equipped with the same training,
Right.
with the same backgrounds, then it becomes a healthy competition. Then it becomes difficult to compete.
Yeah. One interest or hobby do for fun is I do travel a lot.
Travel.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you go.
Okay. Now since you guys have given your introductions, here is mine. My name is Muntasir Haider.
But that's an evil laugh.
You guys are supposed to support me, but anyway, okay. What's my role? I'm a consultant and I'm a trainer. What's my territory so far? Asian region is my territory. What do I want from this workshop?
Also laugh.
Love.
Okay. You guys are supposed to support. Like
Yeah, we do. That's why we mentioned it. You have to laugh again.
Okay. What do I want from this workshop? I honestly feel that whenever I'm talking to any audiences at any level, it's a learning experience both ways. I mean, I'm just one, so you 5 of you, you learned something from me. But since you're 5 and I'm 1, so if I turn the coin the other way around, I'll be learning more from you guys about Bahrain, about the issues that you guys have during sales and all that. I'll be learning a lot from you guys as well. So that's what I want from this workshop. Thank you, man. One interest or hobby that I do for fun. Basically, my work is my hobby. That's the thing that I do. That's the thing that I love doing. Like I was mentioning here at a cup of tea as well. That 2 days workshop here. Then I fly back to Pakistan. I've got a workshop on Wednesday, the full day workshop. After that, I've got a 3 hours class, and after that, I'll be flying back to UAE for a couple of programs. So that's what I do. So my hobby is actually what the work that I do, the consultancy and training work that I do. That's what my hobby is, and that's what I do for fun. The day the fun dries out of it, I'll probably switch to another work or another hobby.
Go on.
It's a sincere love.
Yeah, sincere one, yeah. Any ideas why I embedded the laughter element into this? Whatever activities that we do throughout the day, we'll try sinking in some learning out of it, and we'll of course conclude it with that outcome, that what was anticipated out of that activity. Why did you think we embedded laughter into this activity?
To say whenever there is work, there can be fun as well.
Yeah, fair enough. What else? Why would I make you guys laugh on your own name?
That is what people are missing nowadays.
Okay, fair enough. What else? It's something your name. By the way, name is proven that the favorite word in your dictionary would be your name.
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm making you guys laugh on your name.
Why?
It has nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Do not take things too seriously.
Yes, good. What else? What happens if you enter into this room, you introduce
Why
yourself?
so serious? That's a line from a movie, right? Why so serious?
Exactly. So, what happens if you enter into this room, introduce yourself to people, tell people your name, and people start laughing? What's going to happen?
It's like an insult.
It's like an insult. Good. What else?
Ego.
Your ego, or I would say your self-respect, gets hurt.
Yeah.
Your confidence shatters. So ultimately, the bottom line is, when you laugh out on your own names, that's the worst thing anyone can do to you.
Get immune.
So you get immune to the max worst that can happen. What worse can happen than people laughing on you, right? That's where a salesperson starts to build up, because the salesperson is ready for any and everything. We all started sales from scratch, right? Or most of us at least. I started from scratch, and I got to hear a lot of no's, a lot of insults, a lot of delays in appointments, sitting outside the room waiting for the appointment, even if I'm on time. If the appointment is at 9 a.m., I'm there at 8:50, still getting to wait for 1 hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe more at times. And after 2 hours of waiting, people saying, "Can you come back tomorrow, please? I'm stuck with something." Isn't that what has happened with us? With most of us, maybe.
And
right?
most of the times.
Most of the times, with most of us, this has happened. And it's a kind of an insult, isn't it? So once you get prone to it, once you get immune to it, you start enjoying it. Fine, I'll come back tomorrow. How long would you make me wait? How long can you make me wait? That is the crux of this activity. Once you go to one extreme, you're willing and you're ready to experience any and everything. And sales is about experiencing any and everything. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep. Should we move on?
Yeah, but I have something to say about that.
Yes, please do.
Well, I hope, is this an interactive session,
Absolutely. It has to be, it will be. It is an interactive session. Feel free to pour in your ideas, your comments, opinions,
right?
anything.
If we keep on, coming to them, why can't we make them come to us?
Because world has gone through a paradigm shift in the past, say, 5 decades or so. We have moved from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Seller's market is, for example, I assume you would have heard of Ford, the vehicle, and its father was Henry Ford, right? He's also called father of, I think, assembly line manufacturing. He had a very famous quote that we often quote in total quality management classes and trainings. He used to say, you can buy a Ford of any color unless it's black or white. What does that mean?
It's a seller's market.
It's a seller's market. So no matter which color you want to buy, you are bound by 2 choices, either take black or white. So customers would come to you. Today in the markets, the competition is extensive. Particularly the commodity that you're selling, the service that you're selling. Because there are a lot of gray channels to it, there are a lot of black markets to it, there are a lot of unknown softwares and unbranded products that are being sold that compete with you. Okay? So need to build up your own identity and need to communicate it to the customer. Because if the customer considers price point as the sole variable for making decisions, he would always go for the cheaper products. He would always go for the cheaper solutions. If we sit and make the customers come to us, we lose out the market. Rather, we have to go to them. Why? Because those who are selling cheaper products and services are already proactively pitching the customers. So for example, if you're selling a product worth $100, for example, just a crude example, and I'm selling a product that's maybe $50, it's an unbranded product, it's an unbranded service that I'm giving. And I'm already at the customer's doorstep selling him that product, giving him, you sit at your own seat and I'll come to you and I'll sell that product to you. Why would he wait for you to sell? That is the reason, that's the paradigm shift. So previously sellers would sit at their tables and buyers would come and buy. Now the seller has to go to the buyer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
A couple of days back only, I'll just quote you an example, though was not part of this, but since you've raised a query, a couple of days back only, I got an invitation on LinkedIn from a lady to connect. And I connected because her profile seemed very professional. And she actually sent me a complete 1-page brief. And actually, I appreciated her, and I just appreciated her last evening only that you're using digital media very effectively, using LinkedIn very effectively. She actually was promoting her university, and she asked me to join as a master's student there, which was pretty nice in the sense that she did her homework and she gathered data, she connected to people, and she used LinkedIn as a very powerful tool. So even if universities and educational institutes are coming to us, okay, every specialized product or every product for that matter has to come to us. Previously we would say that supermarket products, for example, we have to go and buy them. Now they're also available on the internet, right? The online groceries and all that, they're competing with each other for the market share. So as a bottom line, the markets have moved from, the paradigm shift has moved a seller's market to a buyer's market. Now we cannot afford to stay in our comfort zone. We have to be proactive, we have to get to the customer. And today's session is all about how to get to the customer in the most efficient, effective manner. Of course, the red tapes, the grey channels, all are there. None of us is declining that. It's not just in this part of the world, it's globally, it's everywhere. A lot of times people ask me in the international audiences in Dubai or here or elsewhere, they ask me that you tell us that you do your background work, you do this, you do that, but there are a lot of grey channels. People give business based on if they know you or not. I said that yes, that's there, but that 1% that's not doing that, that's considering merit, you have to tap into that, and that's what we're going to talk about. Once you creep into that 1%, I'll just hold this selling business outcome, and I'll just add one of my own examples. When I started my business, I didn't know anyone. So I would go and pitch a certain company for certain services, and they would say, okay, we have given this contract to someone else, maybe next year we'll consider you. Fair enough. I kept trying. After a couple of months, I got my first training program, which I had to conduct for free, by the way. Completely free. The whole day, the whole preparation, everything. Free. This is about 10 years back. Once I did that for free, the next time I did was the same company was paid. And there onwards, the roots, the tree, it started growing. So you just need that first break into the market. Once you have it, the market is all yours. Because gradually it's going to be your product, your service, your selling skills that's going to take you forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It seems a very silent kind of a mood today, and the room is pretty silent, yeah?
Maybe because you are listening.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what everyone says. Okay, so let's move on with the presentation. What's your ROI from this workshop? By the end of this workshop, you'll be able to leverage account planning tools to increase sales effectiveness. We'll talk about account planning and territory management. We're going to talk about how can you sell to business units that are outside the IT domain. I will discuss these trends that are coming up in a bit as well. We're going to talk about, and this is where day 2 will come in, we'll plan how to become a trusted advisor to the CIO. What's a CIO?
Chief Information Officer.
Chief Information Officer, precisely. Sorry. Create your own best-in-class client-centric value proposition. What's a value proposition? What's value?
What it gives to them, what positive, what advantage would it give to them?
What advantage would it give to them? Yes, what else? But, okay, let's consider an example. I'm giving a simple example, okay? Assume that this is assume these two water bottles. This is branded, this is unbranded. Both are, what do they do? What purpose do they serve?
Refreshment.
Refreshment. Relinquish your thirst? Both will do that. Why would I prefer this one over this one? Or this one over this one?
It has more minerals.
What else? This is value. This is value. What your product is doing beyond what's being offered already, that is value. And that value could be in terms of service, it could be in terms of product, it could be the brand that's being associated, it could be the value-added services, it could be the after-sales services, it could be the payment terms, could be the discounts, anything. That is value. what you offer beyond the competition is value. Because what you're going to offer will relinquish the same thirst that the other person is also doing. So value is in essence what you're doing beyond what your competition is doing. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Build your personal outcome selling action plan for FY16 and now 17 of course. This is what we'll be doing in a couple of days. Day 1 will be associated primarily towards planning, and we'll be talking about what selling outcome is. We'll be talking about Cisco outcome solutions. We'll be talking about selling outside the IT department. That's going to be day 1. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the engagement part, the CIO part, the value centric, and building up your action plan. This is how we're going to get the maximum value out of this workshop. We participate, we discuss, we interact. Because me standing in front of you, I've got certain scenarios in my mind that I'll be presenting to you. I have certain cases in my mind that I'll be discussing with you. I have got certain examples that I'll be discussing with you. But at the same time, when you pour in with your cases, your examples, your real life scenarios, your stories, that will add value not just to the discussion, but to the other participants as well. Does that make sense? Okay. And these are the don'ts of the classroom. We prefer no hitting, no kicking, and no pushing. That's why I asked you guys to move away from each other. And since it's a bigger room and we're smaller in numbers, so okay. This is part of commercial business practice. This presentation, this training, where we put customers first.
We will not. We will just talk about the commercial segment of the market, right? Not
Yes.
the enterprise segment.
Yeah. Is it true that customers are always right? Yes.
For a salesperson, yes.
Okay. What if customer is wrong and you're right?
Then there is a way to negotiate that. So basically, you can't say to the customer that you are wrong. How do you manage to gain the trust of the customer or make him some way or the other you have to.
So basically what you're saying is customer is always right even if he's wrong.
Yes, you can't simply say
At least
tell them.
for the face of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually then we can side by side start a different line of discussions with the customer where we can prove what Abhijit said that his actual point was wrong.
Yeah, but I guess it's how you say it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very
Excellent.
good.
Yes, ma'am, you want to add something?
Yeah, I would not say it, but I would prove it.
Okay, fair enough. Great. So yes, customers are always right. But the way I see it, I could be wrong as well because since you guys have got cumulatively more experience than me, I think customers are always right. The interesting part is when we say customers, we don't define that's an external customer or an internal customer. Okay? So customer is always right. Could be your internal people, could be your team, could be your sales people, could be your external customer as well. Yes, the way Kim put it is absolutely correct. It's all about how you communicate it to people, right? Of course, when you go to someone and say that, you're wrong.
No sales for 10 years.
Sorry?
No sales for 10 years.
No sales for that. No sales forever, I would say. And in essence, actually, interesting part, since the world is gradually shrinking, particularly the Middle East region, and when I say shrinking, I mean that people are getting connected to each other. The word of mouth really matters. It's essential for us to stay at the best of our ethics, behaviors, lies. When the customer is wrong and you're not saying that you're wrong, it's a lie, right? I'm sorry, but that's what sales is, isn't it? I'm a salesperson myself. In terms of my career, I have sold from stuff starting from a Pepsi can, going up to a luxury villa. I've sold a lot of products in my life across the Asian region. And I've sold a lot of IT or the unbranded business as well. I've sold a lot of it. And customers really love it because it's cost effective. Okay? And the maintenance is pretty cheap as well. Anyhow, we'll come to those factors later. So, where were we? What were we talking about?
Lies.
Sorry?
Lies.
Lies. So, that's what sales is about, isn't it? So when you compose all these factors together, a salesperson emerges, right? Lies, patience, everything. That's what sales is. I'm a salesperson myself. So a lot of stuff that we're talking about is coming directly from bits and pieces of my experience, right? So let's start talking about the changing IT landscape. Have you guys seen, witnessed, come across any changes in the IT purchase landscape in recent times?
It has
It's an
it has become more of value driven than just a product sale.
Okay, let's do one thing. Let's take about 5 minutes. Let's take about 5 minutes. And individually, since we're not a bigger group, otherwise we'll have to put you guys into different groups. But since you're a smaller group, individually, I want you guys to list down at least 5 challenges in the IT landscape today. Okay? 5 challenges, 5 changes, sorry, in the IT purchases landscape. Okay? I'll give you guys exactly 5 minutes for it. Okay?